Hi, my name is Claire and welcome to Willowpatch Farm. So let me introduce myself. As I said, my name is Claire. I've been growing fruit, vegetables and flowers for about 12 years now. When I first started out, I was doing so on an allotment. So what an allotment is it's basically a patch of land that you rent either off a council or a private landowner, and it's yours to grow veg, do what you want with. So I've had two allotments over my lifetime, and in 2020, like so many people, I was made unemployed because of the pandemic. And my mind, of course, was going to, well, how am I going to make money? You know, the future, all those sorts of things that you think when you have been made unemployed. And I kind of decided, well, I'm growing all these things anyway, and I really enjoy it. So why not grow some more? And then maybe I can sell them and make a bit of money. So that's where the idea of Willowpatch Farm came from. So in August of 2020, we broke ground. I was very lucky to have this space down here down the end of the garden that my parents very kindly let me use, and that's where I decided to put the farm. Now I did look into maybe renting out a piece of land somewhere else, but there was a lot of concerns along with that, a lot of worries I kind of had, which I'll go into further in the video. So we decided here would be a good place to start. So we have been going since August 2020. It's been a lot of work to get it ready, and I'm going to show you now what it looked like before we started and we were going through the process of creating the farm. As you can see, the space was quite overgrown, so our first job was to clear it. We rented a petrol strimmer and David got to work. Thankfully, David's quite handy with these things because I don't even know how to start one. After we cleared all the grass, it was time to bring in the mini digger to level the site. We hired this from our local hire shop. It was about €150, but bear in mind that they don't include the price of delivery or picking it up, so you need to factor that cost in as well. Also, these diggers are hired based on the number of hours, so if you hire it for a day, you can only run it for a certain amount of hours. So just factor that into your jobs as well to make sure that you have it hired out for long enough. I pretty much left David to his own devices at this part because I've tried and I'm just not a good digger driver, but he's happy out, as you can see from there. Thankfully, we got all the groundworks finished before the weather turned bad for the winter. The main reason that we've gone with raised beds here is because of the soil. It's a quite heavy clay soil. The drainage is really bad and it's full of rocks, so it was just easier to fill the raised beds with compost and plant into them. It's New Year's Day. It's the 1st of January 2021. New Year, and we decided today to get out and try fill a few of the raised beds. So you can see in the background there, we've made a good start on the mushroom compost. Now I'll show you how much these beds are actually going to take. So this one here has taken 10 wheelbarrow loads, and as you can see, it is nowhere near full. Now, just because of a supply issue, I think I'm going to just get something into all the beds in case the farmer that I've got the compost off has decided that he doesn't want to give me any more, just in case. I mean, he's a nice man, it should be fine, but you know, always have your plan B in the back of your head. Without a doubt, the most difficult job was getting the 20 raised beds filled. Now, I'm going to do a separate video on the size of the raised beds, why we went with that size, and the costings, because it's something I want to go into detail on. So I will do a separate video on that in the future for anybody who's interested. Obviously, when we dug this up with the digger to level it, we got rid of all the grass, and that has meant that it's just heavy claggy clay soil. and that we're getting a lot of groundwater and standing water. The place is like a swamp. So I'm hoping once we get the beds filled and there's plants in there and there's grass between the walkways, that will soak up some of the excess moisture and we won't have that issue anymore. Now, something that we forgot to do and that we knew that we would need to do is we needed to put struts on the inside of the beds, because as you can see we forgot to do it and the outside is starting to bow, and we're worried that if you put more compost in, like say fill it right to the top, and over time they'll start to bow out. So we're just putting these struts in and we're screwing to the inside to reinforce them. Now, the reason that we're putting them on the inside is that if they were on the outside, it would be harder to run a lawnmower up there. So that's why they're going on the inside. So it was at this point that we had to rent the mini digger for a second day to help us get the raised beds filled. I had a polytunnel full of plants and empty raised beds, so it had to be done. It was a mucky day, but it had to be done. We were really lucky that the farmer delivered a second 20-ton trailer full of mushroom compost. It meant that we had more than enough to fill all of the raised beds fully and cover the entire pumpkin patch, which really benefited because the drainage here was really bad. As you can see, we have planks down to walk across it. Without the planks, you would have sank. So the mushroom compost has actually conditioned this soil really well, because you can walk across it now without sinking. At this point there was mixed emotions, because you could really see the whole thing coming together, but it also felt like it was never ending and you weren't going to fully get there. But we did, we persevered, and it was worth it. I cannot even begin to tell you how good it felt to finally start planting into them raised beds. Now, everything that you see here that I'm planting, I've grown from seed in the polytunnel, and I will definitely be doing videos in the future on how I grow my plants from seed, how I plant them, how I space them. A lot of people can be intimidated about growing from seed, but it's actually probably a lot easier than you think. So if it's something that you'd like to try, or you're looking for tips or tricks on, definitely keep an eye on my channel, because I will be doing videos on that in the future. And just like that, the first year on the farm draws to a close. So, as you can see, a lot of work went into getting to the way it is. I know it doesn't look great today. It's in January. Everything looks a bit grim outside in January here in Ireland. But I have started this YouTube because, like, I call this my farm. I say this is the farm. It's called Willowpatch Farm. And I'm sure some people would look at it and go, that's too small. That's not a farm. But at the end of the day, I produce vegetables and I have chickens that produce eggs. So to me, that is a farm. And I think what I just want to show people is that you can have something like this, a small scale farm, that it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be industrial. You can have your own little farm. And I want to show people how I have created it, basically the thinking behind it, how we planned it out, the why we've done it the way that we've done it, in a hopes that if there's people out there who want to try it themselves, that they'll give it a go. Sometimes when you're trying to do things like this, it can be very hard to get advice from people. I think that's as well why I'm deciding to start this YouTube channel, because I've been on Instagram for years and I used to find that it was really helpful and a lot of people would share a lot of tips with you, but I find that that's kind of going to the wayside on it now. It's more just after pictures of everything when it looks great, but they haven't really explained how they've got there or what they've done. So to me, I thought if I had a YouTube channel, I could document the farm as we went along and showed you what I'm doing, what's working, not what's not working as well, which can be more important sometimes. And hopefully you will find it interesting, and you will find it helpful, and it will inspire you to get out and grow your own and just enjoy the outdoors. So thank you very much for watching this. Thank you for coming along, and I look forward in the coming weeks and months and year to show you what we're doing here on Willowpatch Farm and how it all goes. So welcome, thanks for watching.